I tested feed-only PMax against full asset PMax for a client selling expensive technical devices, and the difference was massive. But the reason why is more interesting than the numbers, and it applies to any product that's expensive, premium, or needs explaining before people buy. If you sell anything expensive or premium, technical products, specialty equipment, or even familiar products that cost significantly more than what people expect, this video is going to show you why the most common PMax advice doesn't work for you. I've been managing Google Ads for e-commerce brands for 9 years, and I recently ran a head-to-head test inside one campaign that made me rethink how I set up PMax for products where the value isn't immediately obvious. I'll show you the actual data from two different clients, explain why this happens, and give you two campaign structures you can test in your account today. If you watched any Google Ads content in the last 2 years, you've heard the same thing: strip PMax down to feed only. Shopping ads only, no text assets, no URL expansion. And honestly, for most products that's correct. If you sell something straightforward, something people already understand and buy without a lot of research, shopping ads are efficient. They're direct. Someone searches for it, sees the product, clicks, does some additional research, maybe for a couple of days, and then buys. For most products, it works. But here's where it breaks. There are actually two categories where this falls apart. The first is products that are genuinely new or technical. I have a client that sells EEG neurotechnology devices, brain sensing headbands used for neurofeedback training, $400 to $800. Nobody sees a shopping ad for a $600 brain sensing device and clicks Add to Cart. They don't even know what it does yet. The product category itself needs explaining. But here's the second category, and this one is less obvious. Products that look simple but are significantly more expensive than what people expect. I have another client that sells orthopedic devices for dogs. On the surface, that's a straightforward product: dog braces, supports, that kind of thing. But these are premium veterinary-grade devices. They cost significantly more than generic versions people find on Amazon. A shopping ad shows the product and the price, but it doesn't explain why this one costs 3 times more than the one next to it. I saw the exact same pattern with that client. Text ads pointing to blog or informational landing pages combined with PMax outperformed shopping-only PMax or shopping ads alone. That's because the landing page explains the difference. So it's not just weird niche tech. It's any product where the value isn't immediately obvious from a shopping ad. If someone sees your product and your price and thinks, why would I pay that much? They need education before they'll buy. Here's what I did after I inherited the account with full PMax. First, I followed the standard advice and switched to standard shopping. 2 weeks, poor results. So I switched back to PMax, but this time I created a feed-only asset group alongside the existing full asset group. Same products in both, same time period, a direct comparison. Let me show you what happened. The full asset group, 96 clicks, $102 in cost, 11.81 conversions, 8.69 cost per conversion. The feed-only group, 13 clicks, $11 in cost, 0.24 conversions, 47.17 cost per conversion. Now I need to be upfront about something. This is 1 month of data at a relatively low spend level. That's not a perfectly controlled test. What it is a strong directional signal, especially because the same pattern showed up in a completely different account with completely different product. What's interesting is where those conversions came from inside the full asset group. This is a channel distribution report inside PMax. Google search, text ads, not shopping. 42 clicks, $79 in cost, 9.53 conversions, 1,803 in conversion value. Google search, shopping ads. 15 clicks, $16 in cost, 2.5 conversions, $523 in value. YouTube, 51 clicks, $18, 0 direct conversions. The pattern is clear. The text search ads within PMax drove the majority of reported conversions, not shopping. And text search ads are exactly what feed-only removes. So what's happening here? The text search ads within PMax link to educational pages on the site or blog posts, landing pages that explain the neurofeedback and why someone would want an EEG headband. People click, they read, they understand the product, they get convinced, and then they convert. Sometimes directly from that page, sometimes later when they come back through shopping. But the education happened first. Same thing with the dog orthopedic devices. The landing page explains the veterinary grade quality, the materials, the results. Shopping ads just showed a product image and a price that looked too high. The education made the price make sense. The underlying principle is simple. For products where the value needs explaining, removing education removes conversions. So if feed only doesn't work for complex or expensive products, what should you run instead? I'm going to give you two campaign structures. Both solve the same problem, getting educational content into the conversion path, but they do it in different ways. Structure 1. Performance Max with full assets and URL expansion. This is the simpler option. You keep PMax, but you use it the way Google actually designed it to work for complex products. Go to your PMax campaign, open settings and look for asset optimization. Turn on final URL expansion. This lets Google send traffic to any page on your site, blog posts, educational pages, landing pages, not just a product page URL you set in the asset group. Also turn on text customization. This lets Google pull copy from those pages to create relevant search ads automatically. With both of these on, Google figures out on its own, and your blog post explaining what is neurofeedback converts better as a first touch point than the product page. And it starts routing traffic there. The advantage of this structure, it's one campaign, minimal management, and you let Google's AI discover the best entry points into your site. The downside, you can easily see which search terms triggered your ads or control which pages get traffic. Structure 2. Standard shopping plus a search campaign with AI Max. This is the option for people who want more control or more transparency. And this is what I'm actually running for this client. The key insight here, the search campaign gets most of the budget. I'm running roughly 60-40 or even 70-30 in favor of search over shopping. You run a standard shopping campaign for your products, but this is the smallest part of your budget. The bigger part goes into a search campaign with AI Max enabled, targeting educational and comparison keywords for your product category. Things like what is neurofeedback, EEG headband versus Muse, or for the dog braces client, best dog knee braces for ACL. You point these ads to your educational landing pages, not product pages. The advantage here, you get full search term visibility on a search site. You know exactly what curious people are searching, exactly which pages they land on, and exactly what converts. You also get to control your bids and budgets separately for shopping and search. In the EEG client's account, the separate search campaign targeting neurofeedback keywords drove an $800 purchase plus multiple add to carts through the educational landing page. The search campaign is doing the heavy lifting, educating cold traffic, building understanding, creating demand. Shopping campaign captures that warm traffic once they are ready. They work together, but search leads. If you have strong educational content on your site and you want simplicity, go with the structure 1. Let PMax discover that your blog converts. If you want control and transparency, or if you're an agency managing this for a client, go with structure 2. Standard shopping plus AI Max for search gives you the data you need to explain what's working and why. Education has to be part of the conversion path. Campaign structure is just how you get there. Whichever structure you choose, here are 3 things that make both of them work together. If you get in under 30 monthly purchases, consider adding micro-conversions as primary actions, add to cart and begin checkout, but with arbitrary values like $5 and $10. This gives the algorithm enough signal to learn. Get a full breakdown in my Slow PMax video, link in the description. Extend your click-through conversion window to 90 days. The default is 30 days. For 400 or 800 product, that's too short. People research for weeks, sometimes months. A 30-day window makes your campaigns look worse than they actually are, because it misses conversions that happen after day 30. Use live chat on your site. For products in the 500 plus range, live chat can lift conversions significantly. People buying expensive products have questions. If you can answer them in real time, you remove the biggest barrier to purchase. Feed-only PMax and standard shopping work well for most products. But if you sell something complex, expensive, or hard to price justify, education is what actually converts people. Most campaign structures leave it out. Pick one of the two structures I showed you, test it for at least 30 days. If you find this video helpful, like and subscribe. Every week I share practical Google Ads tips for e-commerce advertisers, often pulled from real account data. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.